Hi, it's Lauren and welcome back to my craft room. Today I have a card that I made for a cousin who likes sailing, and it's an interactive card and there's a fun little surprise when you pull the tab. So here is my sailing card, and I use stamps and dies from Lawn Fawn. I've got smooth sailing on here. I have the new All the Clouds. I have this rock that I turned into an island from Mermaid for You. But the best part, let me put it over here. The best part is when you pull the pull tab, Nessie comes out to visit. Isn't she so cute? And she is from Lovable Legends. So I was really excited to make this card. I hope you enjoy it and have a great day. For this card, I used the following Lawn Fawn stamps. Mermaid for You, I used the rock formation to create an island. Smooth Sailing, I used the smaller sailboat, the lighthouse, and the little bear. I used All the Clouds, and I used the sun, the two medium-sized clouds, and the two smaller-sized clouds. And finally, I used Lovable Legends to color in the Loch Ness Monster. All of my images were colored in using my Pro markers. For my background, I'm using the large stitched rectangle die, and I'm distressing it with Stormy Sky. This is going to be the sky background part of my card. Next, I'm going to use liquid Stardust in my water spritzer to spritz on some shimmer into the background of this piece. I also spritzed on water and used my cloth to soak up the rest of the water. For the next part of my background, I used the large rectangle stitch die as well as stitched wave borders and stitched simple wavy borders to create the ocean. I'm going to distress both of them in broken china. Following the same technique I did for my sky, I'm going to use liquid Stardust in my water spritzer to add some shimmer to these two pieces of my card that will create the water scene. Next, I'm going to create the pull tab, and I'm using the two die sets Magic Iris Camera Pull Tab add-on along with the Let's Toast Pull Tab add-on. To determine where I want to put my pull tab, I need to lay out my scene. I started with my island and lighthouse towards the right of the card and my sailboat on the left. But as you can see, when I placed Nessie onto my card, she's looking away from the sailboat, and that's not the look I wanted. I wanted her to look at the sailboat when you pull her up. So I switched the island over to the left side and the sailboat to the right, and that gives me more of what I want for this card. I choose the larger of the pull tabs and realize that that is too much, so I use the smaller from the Magic Iris add-on to create my pull tab area. I'm going to cut through the card sky base and the darker blue of my water, as Nessie will be hiding behind the lighter blue water. I also saved that blue piece to add in later. Nessie's going to be sitting pretty low, so I'm using the pull tab add-on, and I die cut it from one side. Die cut was placed outside of the plates so it wouldn't cut the top. Flipped my die around to cut along the other side. This just made it easy for me to be able to adjust how long I need my pull tab to be. Once I have it in place, I'm using the new, more square-shaped die for where my pull tab will be placed. And now that I have it cut out and set, I can trim off the white piece and it will be the perfect length for my card. I'm using this folded piece to keep my pull tab in line, that way it doesn't move once I put it onto my card base. Everything seems to be working smoothly, so I can go ahead and assemble my card. I'm gluing the blue piece directly onto the card base, and my pull tab will also go through this piece. This will make it look like Nessie is coming out from in between the different waves. I saved that blue piece and I'm going to glue it onto the white pull tab. This isn't really necessary, but since I can see a little bit of the pull tab popping up from behind the front water piece, I added the blue there just to make it more cohesive. Next, I'm going to glue Nessie onto that pull tab piece, making sure to only put glue onto the part that will actually adhere to Nessie. I was really having trouble with placing my island on the left because of that big wave, so I cut another die cut from the Simple Stitched, and I'm going to cut just a piece to hide behind that wave, so that way my island wasn't covered up too much behind that wave piece. As you can see now, a lot more of my island can show without it looking like it's floating on the water. I adhere the island as well as the lighthouse directly to my card base. I also wanted to make sure to stamp the 3 little light lines coming out from the lighthouse on either side. Next, I'm going to pop up the front ocean piece to the front of the card, making sure I know exactly where I want my sailboat to go. I glue that on first. I'm going to put my foam tape on the darker piece as to make sure I don't put foam tape that will block Nessie from being able to be pulled up. I made this card for a cousin who likes to go sailing, and I thought it was just a fun way to pay tribute to his hobby as well as add a fun little touch of our lovable legend Nessie. Now I'm going to adhere the rest of my pieces to my card. Using my jewel picker, I pick up the images to glue them down securely with liquid glue. I also popped up one of my clouds just to give a little bit more dimension in front of the sun. I also decided to add a few more elements of birds flying in the background, just to create a little bit more in the sky. I also adhere some blue cardstock to create the arrow to lift up the pull tab. And then I realized that I forgot to stamp my sentiment on my blue piece. I even left a little bit of a lighter distressing area to stamp my sentiment. But I stamped "Today is all about you," and I was really happy, as you can see by my hands, that it stamped with no problem. Next, I wanted to put a happy birthday in one of the banners. So I cut that in white cardstock and I'm inking it up in black licorice ink. And I will pop that up above the "Today is all about you" sentiment on the front of my card. Now that everything is glued and in place, I'm going to adhere this background using foam tape to my card base. I put on some final touches using my Wink of Stella in clear on the light and the sun, and I'm so happy with how it turned out. I've been inspired lately by watching some of my friends' YouTube videos like Carrie Rhodes to stamp on the inside of my card. So I inked up Nessie in some green ink and stamped a sentiment, "Have an unbelievable birthday," inside, also in black licorice ink. I love how my card turned out and that I stamped a sentiment on the inside. It's so much fun to pull up Nessie and see her smile at the sailboat. I hope my cousin does have an unbelievable birthday, and I'm so happy to send him this card. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video. Please hit like and subscribe. Have a great day.